Okay, happy Halloween. Now, even though this is Halloween, the scary holiday, we all know that the very next day is what? Christmas. Okay, tomorrow we're gonna have Christmas sales, Christmas this, Christmas that, every fucking thing Christmas. And if you're in Disney World now, tomorrow morning when you wake up, they're already gonna get a jump on the Christmas decorations. I've been there once for Christmas for Halloween, 2004. Now, the reason why I'm making this video today is because the very next day we start the holiday season. Now, one thing you should be thinking of for the holiday season is people that are less fortunate than you. Now, a lot of people don't realize this about me, but I'm actually very wealthy. Okay, I have a pension, which is okay, I'm not gonna lie. I have Social Security. I have an IRA. I have stocks, bonds, mutual funds. I have a comic book collection. There's this shelf here that you see, this bookshelf full of comic books. And then over there in the corner, another shelf, one shelf higher, also comic books. Okay, they're pretty well off to do with that. I also, my family owns the Disney Vacation Club. We will own it for another 20 years, I think. No, 27 years. We have 27 years to own that. Okay, plus my inheritance, I'm a beneficiary of my mother, my father, and one of my uncles. So I have a lot of money. Plus I work, make money that way, stuff like that. But there are a lot of people in this country and in this world that are not fortunate. They may not have two loving parents. I was raised by two parents in the home. I was very blessed. There are guys that have one parent in the home growing up. There are guys that have one parent in their life growing up. Okay? There are guys that lost their job. There are guys that outlived their child, okay? Now, you should do something for the holiday season for others. Now, I will tell you right now, never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, period, donate a penny to any government entity, period. I will also tell you, I'm going to say it flat the fuck out. My favorite gymnast loves Joel Osteen. I've even seen pictures of her family with him. That motherfucker lives in a mansion bigger than any Hollywood celebrity. But he runs a charity. Okay, now, my mother and I, every year, we started this a few years ago, Wreaths Across America. Wreaths Across America is a charity that puts a Christmas wreath on as many service member graves as possible. Preferably graves of men who were killed in action, as opposed to men and women who died years later. And that is a heartwarming tribute because if you have a loved one that passed away and was killed in action, rather, and I had a cousin killed in Iwo Jima. He was fighting with the Army, not the Marine Corps. He was in a tank, and typical Vinny moment, the tank, they had the hatch open, and a Japanese guy threw the grenade inside. And my father was 10 when it happened. My father's an old man. And he remembers my great aunt literally went insane. The government tried to give her a check every month for his benefits, military benefits. My aunt tore those checks up and died penniless, and she was literally driven insane. And my mother, of course, knows that my friend was killed in action in Iraq. And Wreaths Across America, if you have a family member who was killed in action, it really is heartwarming to see that someone was willing to put a wreath on their grave. They mostly have the big cemeteries like Arlington, but they try as hard as they can to get as many wreaths as possible on a military grave. And my mother and I buy a couple of wreaths for them every year. We just go online and pay them, and they have people to do it. And also, we started doing Samaritan's Purse. Now, most of you have heard of the Reverend Billy Graham. who was the preacher who the president even ordered him to be laid in state when he passed away. And he was actually laying in state, and the joke is there were several statues of men in the rotunda who had met with him personally in his younger days. And he will have a statue in the rotunda one day. That's Billy Graham. Billy Graham used to preach to desegregated crowds in the South during the 60s. He refused to speak at any segregated location. He only spoke at desegregated locations because he believed that the word of God was for all of us, regardless of our color or religion or anything like that. He believed we were all entitled to hear God. And he started many charities. He's passed away, obviously. His son, Reverend Franklin, has taken over all of his businesses and all of his charities. And you can see Reverend Franklin Graham everywhere you go. Every time there's a hurricane, a flood, an earthquake, there's not a single disaster, a terrorist attack, there's not a single disaster you can point to that Franklin Graham has not ordered food, toys, clothes, anything, money. He diverts funds, okay? He will make sure that everything's taken care of. Now, the shoe boxes, we do the shoe boxes. My mother and I went on a few years ago, and you can go on their website and figure out how to mail a shoebox to them. You take a shoebox or a box that is the same size, and you put things in it, and you mail it to them. They tell you what to put in, what not to put in. No, you can't put a gun in. Sorry, guys. Or what we normally do is we normally buy the shoebox from them, which means they have these plastic containers, look like shoe boxes, the same size, and we tell them what to put in, and they put it in for us. And there's a whole selection. You pick a menu. The standard items are pads and pens, and then they'll say, okay, pick one of these 3 items, or pick 2 of these 4 items, okay? And there are 2 genders. Yes, there are 2 genders. And there are 3 age groups. When my mother first went on there, my mother said, you know what, we're going to do one for every section. And we do 6 shoe boxes every year. And they go to Africa, they go to South America, they go to 5th world countries, okay? And you see pictures of little kids getting these little shoe boxes, and the kids are jumping up and down, okay? In this country, kids want the latest video game system, kids want a phone, iPad, kids want to go to Europe vacation. Okay, kids in this country want every goddamn thing. These kids have nothing. And when they get a shoebox full of things, guess what? It means the world to them. And I make sure every single shoebox has what? A flashlight. It might not be as cool as the flashlight I got courtesy of eBomi and Multi-Gunman, but they make sure it's a flashlight. And a $2 piece of shit flashlight. In our country here, we use flashlights in case the power goes out, we can go to bed in the middle of the night. In those countries, they live in shacks. They have to go take a dump outside. So having a flashlight could mean the difference between life and death in some cases. You never think of a simple item like a $5 flashlight that you buy in a 5 and 10, 5 and dime, whatever you want to call it, same thing. Or a CVS, so a $5 flashlight could be the difference between whether you live or die. Okay, t-shirts, socks, sandals, okay, balls, basketball, football, okay, little toy, okay. Most of these poor countries do soccer because unlike football or baseball or whatever, soccer doesn't require bats or balls or helmets or padding. Soccer is just balls. Okay, you can use a couple of garbage cans as field goal. One here, one here. That's a field goal now. You could literally buy a soccer ball at your local sports store and mail it to Reverend Franklin Graham. Okay, and he could mail that soccer ball to a village in Africa, and 10 kids could have their life changed. One friggin' ball. Okay, Honest Outlaw often says donate to your local homeless shelter. And you might think it's a joke at first, but it's not. He really does volunteer in homeless shelters a lot. He says homeless shelters need items, and the item they need the most is socks, and the item they get the least is socks. They don't get any socks. You can go to the store to buy 8 pairs of socks. I want to buy 8 pairs of socks. Okay, go to the store. You want to buy 8 pairs of socks, but the store is having a sale where if you buy 5, you get 5 half off. You only want 8 pairs of socks, okay? Buy 10 pairs of socks, keep 8 for yourself, and give 2 to the homeless shelter. Okay? Canned food, okay? You can just go to your cabinet and take a couple of cans of peas or corn and give it to your church or your soup kitchen, okay? And it could change someone's life. Alright? If you're not doing anything on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, there are soup kitchens and churches and synagogues that give out food to people that are poor. Okay? Every city I can think of has a toy drive where you go and buy a nice toy for $10, and they have bags full of toys they give to underprivileged kids. My city does that. I've seen little kids, 7, 8 years old, open a goddamn lemonade stand and raise money for their relative to have a cancer treatment or organ transplant. Okay? So if a 7-year-old kid or 8-year-old kid can raise enough money for medical treatments, okay, you can do something. Even if you do one small thing for Christmas Day, or Christmas Eve, or Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, okay, one thing you can do for the holiday, you could change someone's life. I'm going to see if I can put a link to Samaritan's Purse down below. That's what I do. If you find something else that you're good at, that's fine. Okay, you could, I'm not good at draw, I can't draw for shit. You could be a good sketch artist. Okay, you could sketch cartoon characters and give them to kids in the hospital. Okay, I mean, you could change someone's life like that. And we're not seeing that as much as we should. So for this holiday season, November, December, seriously think about what could I do to help one person. If I have $10 in my pocket and I'm at the mall and I'm looking for whatever, can I take that $10 and buy a toy and bring it to City Hall and have City Hall give it to an impoverished kid? Okay? Turkeys. You buy turkey for Thanksgiving. Some guys buy turkey for Christmas. Some guys buy ham for Christmas. Some guys buy whatever for Christmas, okay? You go to the store, okay? You buy a turkey. You say, okay, I can buy one more turkey and I can bring it to the mission and the mission can give it to a family that needs it. And that could be Christmas for someone. Because there are guys that are so poor in this world they can't afford turkey. And I've seen this. I've seen guys that are so poor they can't afford shit. Literally. So just think about changing one person's day this year. Okay? Just think about one little thing you could do this year to change one person's day. There are over 300 million people in this country. Now, 50 million people make life easy, make one day easy for one person. Think about that for a minute. Okay, stay safe for Halloween. Have a good day. Thanks, bye.